Grand Rising, Grand Arrival, Grand Return. Peace and blessings to the righteous and the repentant alike. I'm Chi Sophia of the Americana Band of Indians, and I remembered what I was trying to add on at the end of the last video. So this is going to be a quick discussion about gatekeeping and how it's actually supposed to work. Of course, I've been doing my own research trying to figure out how this access to the spirit realm actually works. And I mentioned in the other video that there's actually work that we're supposed to be doing in our dream state, which we have completely neglected to do because basically these parasites have taken over our bodies and they have us doing all kinds of stuff, giving us all kinds of whatever that has nothing to do with the stuff that we're supposed to be doing. And so one of the things that I realized about that is that every person, physical vessel, has a gatekeeper, okay? And everything that you're trying to do has a gate that you have to cross through. In the case of vampires, you, like the movie Sinners, I haven't seen it, but in a case with vampires, in order to get into a particular location, the vampire has to invite you. And so if you're not invited, you're not going to get in. That is basically how it works in a wide variety of areas. And so this is how life works, actually. So if you're trying to accomplish something really big or really specific, whoever is the person that guards that gate is the one that has to let you in. Now, because we are who we are, we have special entities, deities, whatever, that can be our gatekeepers or our guides to get us into certain doors. Now, I've been talking a long time about being able to evaluate who's on your spirit team so that you know who you're working with and all that kind of stuff. But this is an even further step than that. This is literally having an entity who can guide you or can get certain doors open for you that you need open for what you're trying to do in your waking world. And of course, you respect them, and not necessarily worship them, but you respect them and revere them in the, in your daily life. You acknowledge them. So one of the ones, the main one who has actually been extremely helpful is Hanuman. Now, I know I went on this whole railing against Sun Wukong, and Sun Wukong actually is the illegitimate son of Hanuman, and that's the reason why he's so upset. But now that and we're going to still do the video on him, but less important. More important is dealing with Hanuman. Why is Hanuman so important? Again, Hanuman was running around with Rama. So once I went back and did the research, and I was like, wait a minute, he was with Rama. That means he have a special affinity for Sita, because just the whole story of Rama and Sita and all of that happened, which I've been talking about for a long time, because there's a movie, animated cartoon called Sita Sings the Blues, who the cartoonist for that, her name is Nina Paley. I absolutely love her. She does a lot of good stuff. So anyway, but she told Sita's story in from a more feminine perspective, which I think was actually really accurate. So the point of the matter is, Hanuman was Rama's right hand, worshiper. Let's say Hanuman revered Rama like no one else. He literally loved Rama. He loved Sita. Okay, he would do anything for them. And because Rama was blue, i.e. black, that's the reason why Hanuman have a lot of respect for us, because we are much like Rama and Sita on the female side and Rama on the male side, right? And so I had started working with him. Now, I never work with male deities. Never. This will be, outside of Jesus, this will be the very first male deity I ever worked with. And I felt really comfortable working with him because not only was he a self-proclaimed ascetic, He also did take a partner later in his story, so I also felt better about that. In general, he really put himself on the line for Rama. Like, he really sacrificed everything. And I think people like that in general, who sacrifice everything for somebody they barely know, what isn't that one of the commandments? Love thy neighbor as thyself, love thy brother as thyself, and no greater love than he who will sacrifice himself for his friends. Like, that is Hanuman. That's literally Hanuman. And so I have just been in general working with him. Now, this goes along with the bundles and stuff that I was talking about, but again, that stuff is going to be in the video for the people who order the bundles. So, because I don't want to get into too much detail, it's not necessary, except for me to say that I have been asking Hanuman to help me accomplish different things as a part of this whole ritual process. And because the reason why I say that Hanuman and Jesus kind of go hand in hand, we just came through a new moon. During new moons, Jesus is not available. So if you're Christian, typical standard evangelical Christians out there trying to figure out where Jesus is on the new moons, he's not available. That's when he's descending into hell to bring out the captives who can be brought out. So he's not available. Okay, so, and just reinforcing that part of the storyline, he's not available. So his next right hand who he would send is Hanuman. And again, remember this, I'm just not going to go into it. It's just, he saw Sun Wukong on the road to go and do the wave sheaf offering, but he probably thought it was Hanuman. And Sun Wukong, dressed as Hanuman, lied to Jesus, sent Jesus in the opposite direction, then took the form of Jesus and went to the party and messed everything up. So Jesus don't like Sun Wukong, okay, at all. But Hanuman, that's his right-hand man, and they look similar. So that's why you have to be able to judge the spirit by the spirit. You can't just look at looks. It's not going to work anymore, okay? So, anyway, I just got off track. So, I have been asking Hanuman to just help me understand how this thing works, because I kept feeling like I was close, but there was something I was missing. And so I realized what I was missing was the gatekeepers. And it's not that the gatekeeper is bad in that sense. It's just that the gatekeeper is the one who opens the gate. We have gatekeepers on this physical realm that close the gates. But on the spiritual realm, the gatekeepers open the gates. So the only way they'll open the gates is if someone vouches for you. So if you just on your own and you don't even know what form you take, you go to the gate and you try to get in, they're going to be like, no, I don't know you. Who are you? Why would I allow you to do this? But if you work with your gatekeeper, the one who can open the gates for you, in my case is Hanuman, then when you go to certain gates, the gates will be open. Now, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. I don't even know how to put this into words. But yesterday, I was like, okay, Hanuman, I need to figure out how I'm going to make some money, because I don't know what my check is going to look like, and blah, 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 all this stuff, right? Now, I wasn't too sure about this example because I had been asking this since like Friday, because of, I know when we get paid and all of this stuff, and these people are always so weird with this whole working thing. And so I have been asking since Friday, okay, Jesus, I need you to come and do this thing. But then it was like, but Jesus is busy. And if you follow me on Twitter, I said that. I said, Jesus is busy right now. So who am I supposed to ask? And so I was like, just want to ask Hanuman. Okay, I'll ask Hanuman. I don't know if I'm supposed to be asking him or not, but let's do it. So I'm willing to try and see if things work. So I know Jesus is busy because we're in new moon season. He's busy. So I said, okay, Hanuman, I need to do X, Y, and Z. I need some help with this. It started on Friday. So on Friday, I was like, my daughter wanted to go to this chicken place that her friend works at. And I was like, man, I don't have any money to go to this place. You know, she's gonna have to see if she can get somebody else to pay, whatever. So she asked my mom, and my mom said she would pay. So we went there, we had a good time and all of that. And so I gave the guy, like, I said, okay, I'll take care of the tip for the server. So I gave the guy my last $10. I was like, it doesn't matter, we got ordered a bunch of food, you have to tip people that already think black people are cheap, we're just not going to go down that route. So I gave that man my money, all right? So I go through the weekend, it's fine. I had put a bunch of stuff together to get out to people. I go back on Monday to talk to the people I had given products to see if they liked it or whatever. And the guy was like, how much do I owe you for that? And I was like, I mean, if you're going to pay me, it's $10. He literally pulled a $10 bill out and handed it to me. Now, I just gave away my last $10 bill. He handed me a $10 bill. I was like, wow, this is quite shocking, right? That was one thing. The other thing was, I had said, okay, I got to pay this credit card down, My dad is going to be fussing at me because I told him I was going to spend it, but I already spent it because I needed this and I'm waiting for this money and all this stuff, right? So someone calls me and they're like, yeah, I'm willing to pay you to do this work for me if you'll just do it because I can't do this. And I was like, what? It hadn't even occurred to me, as from the paperwork perspective, that people could just pay me to do their paperwork, and I would help them with it. Like because I'm offering that as a free service. I never thought about offering it as a paid service too. I just wanted to offer it as a free service. So I'm like, wow, I could offer this as a paid service too. So that gave me an idea of what I can do to earn money this summer, because I'm not going back to those people for them to abuse me. I'm just not going to do it. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. I asked Candle Mom for an answer, and literally first thing in the morning I get a call. Can you do this? I'll pay you. I just can't do it. I'm like, wow, okay, all right, that's a solution. And still I'm like, okay, this is a little crazy. So before I went to bed, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna help this person with this, I know that there's an entity I need to get into contact with. Now, I don't like this entity. Like everybody knows I'm not a big fan of Jehovah, because it's not that Jehovah is a bad God. It's just that he is very strict and disciplined and intense. And I'm more soft and feminine, and that don't really go together. Like, it don't go together unless you're in straight submission. And that's also not really part of my personality complex, to just randomly submit to some random God that may or may not be able to help me. But I know in order to do these particular processes, I need access to that particular God, right? The other thing is, for my own processes, what I'm trying to do, I need access. I didn't know what God I need access to. I was like, I don't even know who I need access to in order to get these things done with the IRS. So before I went to bed, I said, okay, can you help me, give me access to Jehovah, and also whatever the God that's over the IRS, I need access to that God too. When I woke up, I checked my Twitter, and a young man that I've been working with, helping him with some spiritual stuff, reached out to me and was like, do you know why this keeps happening to me? Like, as soon as I get my life together, everything falls apart, all of this, all of that. And I was like, I got you, bro. Just like, I'll send you some, some stuff to help you. And then he texted me, and I start, conversing back and forth with him, and something is like, he connected with Jehovah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now I don't have to deal with this other guy that I don't care for so much. I can, if I need something from Jehovah, I can just go and deal with him. I like this guy a lot better. His personality is a lot more, because he's not as old, he haven't been burnt as much. Or as hard, basically, I would say. Not as much as hard. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, he works with Jehovah. I was just asking for a gatekeeper to put me into contact with Jehovah, so Jehovah can see I'm really a good person, right? Because that's all he is. Jehovah is very protective over his people. He wants to make sure that you're a good person. So I understand that. Again, I don't have no problems with Jehovah. I'm not coming for Jehovah. I'm just saying he's not my favorite person to work with because of how protective he is. But this guy worked with Jehovah. He don't even know it. So that's one thing. So I'm also able to help him work with that entity more positively because I know who it is. All right. So that was one part of it. And then at the same time, my dad sent me a text message. It was like, I got my tax return finally, ... And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. Because what was the other thing I asked for? I want to know who the guy was over the IRS so that I could figure out how to get this stuff moving. Because if I'm going to be helping people with this stuff, I just need to know who the deity or the entity is to go to so that we can keep everything moving. I don't want stuff to be sitting stagnant because I don't know how to work with, these certain different entities. So that actually happened to me like just now, like today, in the last few days. So it just made me realize that the gatekeepers are designed to open the gate. And why would they open the gate for me? Because Hanuman, I was represented in the spirit realm by Hanuman, and everybody loves Hanuman. That's the problem with certain people. They have certain people as their gatekeepers, and those gatekeepers are not well respected in the spirit realm. They actually are disliked in the spirit realm. And so if you try to run up in the spirit realm with a person who has no rank, and nobody likes them, then basically you're not going to be able to get anything done. And that's what happens when you deal with Yah or whoever this God is, this angry God in the Bible, this Sun Wukong in his angry form. Nobody likes him. Everywhere Sun Wukong goes, if he's representing you in the spirit realm, people don't like him. People don't like him. They don't like him. Everywhere he goes, he causes chaos. But if you're represented by Hanuman, hey, everybody loves Hanuman. They know he is the nicest, sweetest, deity you could ever work with. Really, he just is. He's the nicest deity you could work with. And so, yeah, of course they'll help out Hanuman. How could you tell Hanuman no? Why would you tell Hanuman no? He's amazing. Like, really, he is a type of entity or deity you could really confide your actual what you're trying to do with, and he will go and make it happen. Remember, Hanuman is the one who thought the sun looked like a piece of fruit, and he tried to take a bite out of the sun. And so the wind, who created Hanuman, Vidya, took all the wind from the whole planet. He removed all the wind from the whole planet because Hanuman was lying basically dead. And then Indra actually came down and resuscitated Hanuman, and then the wind came back to the planet. So Hanuman got people who, if you cross Hanuman and you mess him up, that wind is, and what do we have in our bodies? The breath of life. That's the wind. And literally the wind is the one who is, in the street terms, he's the what is it called? The big brother, or I don't know what you call in the streets. He's like the big brother of Hanuman. And so Hanuman is as sweet as can be, but they know if you mess with him, his daddy is coming to get you. And so you don't mess with Hanuman. You don't want that smoke. He took all the wind from the planet. And everything was basically about to die because they had messed with Indra. It was Indra. Indra had struck down Hanuman. He wasn't supposed to do that. He didn't know better. He was just a little monkey. Well, he probably had a huge monkey, but he didn't know better. It was no reason for him to do that. It was disproportionate. Okay? So I know this sounds crazy. I just wanted to put this out there that all the purpose of the gatekeepers is to open the gates. They just want to know that you're a good person, because if you're a bad person, they don't want to open the gates for the bad people. Especially if your God is Sun Wukong. No one wants to deal with him, Because why? He goes to the parties, he's loud, he pretends to be people he's not, he's jumping from body to body, he never takes responsibility for his actions. He is the angry God of the Old Testament. And so no, nobody wants to be nobody wants to actually deal with him. And so that's why a lot of people can't get what they want, because they've been unknowingly given this God who is a terrible God, and you have to do something about that. You have to come from out of these foreign gods and go to the Creator, and the Creator will help you with this. It's not that I don't believe in a Creator of all things, of course, or Jesus or anybody like that, but you got to understand how it goes. There's no, there's not a rule book for this. It's just all intuitive, but you got to understand how things work. So yes, of course you need a gatekeeper. You just want your gatekeeper to be somebody everybody loves and not somebody who everyone hates. It's really that simple. So that's basically how it works. And I'm going to do a video on Hanuman 2 separate from Sun Wukong, because that's a totally different monster. But I think Hanuman is far more important and far more valuable. And that's to say, not everybody works. Everybody got a different guy. Everybody got a different gatekeeper. You have to go to Hanuman. He's not just gonna like find you out, and it don't work like that. You got to be invited. But everybody has a different guy who's the gatekeeper. So for example, the guy who has Jehovah, he could get a lot of stuff done with what he needs to do if he knew that's what the God is that he works with. So he could build this relationship with this God, so that when he's trying to get in certain doors, he can get in them. In the meantime, I, as a human, as a person who can travel between these realms, I can help hold the door open for him, because he is trying to do the right thing. He is trying to get his life together, and that's what you need. You need someone who will vouch for you. And that's our responsibility as women, is to vouch for the men we see trying to get it together, and not just let them fall and suffer and all of that stuff. This is why, this whole conversation of 50-50 relationships, no, it's 100-100, or you have to give 100%. There's just no way to get around it. Okay. So, anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to put this out because I remembered what it was. And so peace and blessings to each one of you all, and we'll see you in the next video.